Friday Excellence. I'm here with one of the first lives in a while, where you can actually hear me. From the looks of it, the microphone is working, so yay. I guess let's start this off with blanking. Let's start this off with this week's code of the week. Remember, this week's code of the week is live for today because tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. And while we wait for more people to join, does anyone have any questions? I'm really bad at lives, guys. I'm sorry. Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask before we get started on the short story readings? Or should I just start? Up to you guys. I have to get off in 2 hours because I have to get ready for work. So you guys decide. Do you guys want to ask me any questions, or should we start the reading now? Nervously glances over at the chat. Okay. I don't know. Is the microphone? Yes, it is. Okay. It is, right? Deciding to join my own live now. See if the microphone's working. Microphone's working. Okay, it is. So I guess without further ado, let's get started on the readings. I need to decide which one I want to start off with now. Like 7. Not DRC or the unknown. DRC smooth as frick. Okay, let's start off with a nice, not overly violent one, which is nothing like my writing typically. So this one is a story that my cousin and I were writing together, and then I took over writing because I'm weird like that. This is Love Note. I finished the first part of it. There's several different parts going through the characters' lives. So here we go. Love Note, Chapter 1. These are in point of view. So this point of view is Carson. I'm only going to read about one chapter from each excerpt, and then if you guys want to hear more, let me know. Chapter 1, Carson. There she is. She's the most beautiful girl in school. She's been asked by nearly every boy. Savannah Williams, track star, amazing writer, beautiful. I smile at her from across the hall. She can't see me. Not with a group of bodyguards hanging around her constantly. There's only one person who anyone needs to pass to get even Savannah to think about saying yes. Noah Castillo. He's been Savannah's best friend for the last 5 years. He makes sure whoever goes near her is good enough to be within feet of her. Hence the bodyguards. The annoying thing is the fact that he doesn't let anyone through because he wants to keep her all to himself. It's obvious he likes her. Always giving her gifts, hanging around her. In return, he gets graced with her gorgeous smile. Savannah's golden eyes twinkle. Her dark skin looks so smooth from afar. Her red hair is pulled back into 2 braids. She spins around, her purple and yellow dress flowing. She grabs a Letterman jacket from her locket and pulls it on as the bell rings. She looks over her shoulder, looking at me. I turn back to my locker, pulling out the poem. I open the note, checking to make sure that everything looks nice still. Savannah. Sweet, innocent Savannah. You are like the sunset, the last thing I want to see every day. Beautiful and bright. Come to prom with me. It would fill me with delight. Your secret admirer. The note is exactly how I left it. I pull out the tape dispenser, move over to Savannah's locker. I bribe the janitor for her locker key. I open the locker, sticking the note to the door with a small set of instructions. If she isn't curious, she needs to put the poem into locker number 315 during lunch. But if she is, she needs to wait for me out in the parking lot by the flagpole after school. I close the locker and head to calculus. This is either the day I humiliate myself or the day I win over Savannah. I wait eagerly around the corner from locker 315. I don't have any friends, so no one will notice I'm not at lunch. I peek around the corner, no one but people grabbing their lunches from their locker. I sigh, leaning my head against the wall. This is going to be the roughest 20 minutes of my life. I hear someone coming. I carefully glance at the locker. Savannah. She looks around, rolling the nut through her fingers. Carson, you here? I inhale sharply. I'm revealed. I hold my breath, hoping she gives up and goes to lunch. Carson, I know you're the one who wrote the note. Can you come out, please? I exhale slowly. There's no point in hiding anymore. Step around the corner, moving over to her. She looks at me, offering a small sympathetic smile. Thank you for the beautiful note and coming out to talk to me, she says, avoiding my gaze. But you're saying no, I sigh. I'm sorry, truly. I'm not going to question how you got into my locker, but it was a really sweet gesture. How do you know it was me? We're English partners. I know your handwriting. I'm going to prom with Noah and some of his friends. You can come if you want. But you don't like me. I'm sorry. I'm more focused on getting to college right now more than having a boyfriend. Here's your poem back. It was beautiful. She holds out the poem, and I take it before putting it back in her hand. I look up at her, hiding the disappointment and pain from my face. Keep it, I mumble. She stores the note in her purse. I'll see you in English, I guess. She turns and walks towards the cafeteria. I look after her until she turns a corner. I turn and head towards my next class, sinking feeling in my stomach as I drag my feet along. My eyes burn with tears as I walk through the halls, the unbearable feeling of people staring at me, being absorbed by the floor. This is a terrible day. Could it get any worse? And there's no one here. Anyways, that was Love Note. That's not my typical writing style, but my cousin said no violence. So, then there's the cousin that I wrote for my other cousin, the story that I wrote for my other cousins, The Strange Pizza and The Death of Jerry Pooh. They're very weird. But this story about explains it all. This is another one of my more child-friendly stories, except for, the death part. And it's more aimed for little boys because they apparently are obsessed with poop. Anyways, in Macaron's New Mozzarella, there was a pizzeria owned by Bob Chicken, who, coincidentally, was a chicken. New Mozzarella Pizza Guac was a very strange pizzeria. They used humans named Pizza Man to make the pizzas, but not in a pizza line like you would think. Instead, Pizza Man was ushered into a large oven where they would be melted onto the crust that was cooking. Fact is, New Mozzarella Pizza Guac was made the most delicious pizza in the whole country of Cheddar States United. Nobody knew the secret recipe. That is until 10 years ago when the investigation opened, leading to the discovery of how the pizzas were made and eventually the closure of the pizzeria. It all began when an especially strange customer came into the shop one Saturday evening. He was a regular, but always wanted the weirdest, nastiest things on his pizza. His name was Jerry Pooh. He was especially unusual fellow. A mop of deep brown hair styled like a pile of poo sits on top of his dirt-ridden face. His nose looked a bit funky, because when he was a kid, he broke his nose and it was never set properly. As for his eyes, they were two different colors, one green and the other brown. Whenever he came into the restaurant, they had to shut down any and all incoming orders because the pizzas he ordered ruined any and all other orders afterwards. His order was always the same: ranch for the sauce, blue cheese for the cheese. As for toppings, he had sardines, broccoli, rotten garlic, eggs, and full lobster claws, meat removed. But the grossest part of the entire process was that he insisted I don't want to say this part. His pizzas were cooked by farce. I'm not going to read the details. I hate reading that. He knew when it wasn't. It made everyone hate him when he walked around with his pizza abomination. That's all besides the point. The story has been told several different ways. Some say that he accidentally fell into the oven. Others say that he eventually imploded from eating all the disgusting pizza. The most popular theory was that Jerry Pooh was killed by a very upset ghost. The story goes that Jerry went in at his usual time and ordered his usual. They shut down production, and Pizza Man was shoved into the oven. All Pizza Man hated Pooh's order, and this one decided he was going to do something about it. The thing is that after Pizza Man is melted onto the crust, they become ghosts. They don't die. So after Pizza Man 293,839,283 was melted, he followed the pizza out to Jerry Pooh. Jerry Poo has to walk home across the train track. The ghost went ahead to the stop train on the track, then starts the train and has it roll down the track. Jerry Poo can't hear anything over the crunching of his lobster claw shell. The ghost moves full steam ahead and hits Jerry Poo head on. He exploded and poo flew everywhere. The ghost of the very brave pizza man felt as if his mission was complete. He returned to the pizzeria to tell the other pizza men. Eventually, the police found the last place Jerry Poo was seen alive. They shut down New Mozzarella Pizzeria Guac. So the lesson to be learned here is that if you don't want an upset pizza man ghost to come after you and run you down with the train, stick to the classics. Okay, that was that weird one. The next one is a bit less child-friendly, so imaginary children watching this, click off now. This one is called Captive in My Dreams, and it's about a girl who watches her best friend die and then is kidnapped by demons. So let's get into this. I decided to only read the prologue because otherwise the rest becomes it's spoiled. Anyways, so this is the prologue of Captive in My Dreams. I wish things would go back to the way they were before. Life was easier then, before this whole mess. It all started one horrible morning. I wake in a dark room, my head is throbbing, arms weak. There's a rich taste in my mouth. I sit up. I'm in my best friend's room. What happened? I rarely bring a hand to my head, standing and looking around. Where are they? Alex, you here? I ask, moving towards the bathroom. I push the door open. Blood? Alex, this better be some cruel joke or something. I move out to the kitchen. There's a strange man at the counter. I've never seen him, and I don't recall Alex saying anyone would be over. Can I help you, sir? Hey, Jenny, right? He responds, facing me. A beautiful mop of black hair sits on top of his head, combed back slightly. He had these dull blue eyes that pierced my soul. His skin was a pasty white, but it suited him in his black suit. I realize I'm staring and move to the fridge. Do I know you? I ask, grabbing a water bottle. No, but Alex told me about you. You're a lot prettier than they described, assuming you're Jenny, that is. He replies, flashing a flirtatious grin. What's your name? How do you know Alex? He laughs, pulling out a pad from his pocket and scribbling something down. We met at the bar. We've been meeting for drinks. He rips the paper out, sliding it across the counter to me. I picked it up. Jared Lexington is signed on the paper. I roll my eyes, throwing it back on the counter, continuing my search for Alex in the general area. Jared stands following me. My friends call me Jay, although I prefer pretty girls like you to call me something else. What's wrong? Alex is missing. Did you check the bathroom? Yes. What about the laundry room? Yeah. The office? Not yet. Then let's check their office. I allowed Jared to lead me to Alex's office only because he was pissing me off. He opens the door, letting me in first. I spot Alex tied to their office chair, gagged and bleeding. Alex, I breathe, stepping towards them. I hear a gun cock in my ear and I swallow, turning my head slightly. Not so fast, Jenny. It was extremely difficult to get them tied up, especially when you stepped in and started fighting me too. Sorry about your arms, by the way. Anyways, I need you to sit on the desk and not say anything. I don't want to have to gag you too. If you're a good girl, I won't hurt your friend. I take a deep breath, moving to the desk. I push some things away, clearing some space. I sit, clasping my hands together and placing them in my lap. Jared trickles, pulling something from his pocket. He screws it onto the gun, pointing it at Alex. You said you wouldn't hurt them if I listened, I shout, standing. Jared's finger rests on the trigger of the gun. Where's the fun in that? Especially if I came here to unalive them and take you. Please, they're my best friend, my only friend. Where we're going, princess, you'll have plenty of friends. Now sit. I lean back against the desk, crossing my arms. Jared rolls his eyes, muttering something under his breath. Alex gets the gag loose, fighting against her restraints. Jen, run, Alex shouts. Jared hits, shooting them in the shoulder. Alex grunts, their heads rolling to the side. I stand to move to them, but Jared points the gun at me. Not so fast, pretty. My boss won't be too happy if I put a few holes in you. Jared says, pulling a knife from his boot. Dang, it's been a while since I've read this. What are you going to do with that? Cut my sandwich. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm running your friend through. Now, I will need to tell you what. My boss isn't going to be happy about this. Jared grabs tape and moves over to me. He bounds my bounding my wrists and ankles. He stands, looking me over. He rips another piece of tape off, sticking it over my mouth. That's so I don't have to listen to you try to talk me out of my job, Jared mutters, picking the knife up from beside me. I whine, struggling against the tape. I watch as the man who supposedly was helping me stabs my best friend in the stomach. I scream, scooching and falling off the desk, inching towards my friend. Jared hisses again, grabbing my arms to lift me and placing me back onto the desk. Stay put. He removes the niv from their stomach, slicing their wrist. Jeez. What am I doing? This person is based off of my best friend. What did my friend do? Alex is turning a pale white. He licks the blood off the blade, his eyes darkening. I swallow. He's a psychopath. Alex is struggling against her restraints, blood pouring from their wounds. Lucifer, would they just die already? Jared whines. Peels off his sport coat, throwing it onto my lap. Moves over to them, wrapping his hands around Alex's neck. He snaps it. Their head rolls limply forward. I scream, throwing myself off the desk, inching towards Alex. They can't be dead. Jared hissed once again, lifting me to his chest. Jared pulls a bag from his pocket. Now we're going back to my place. Though you can't know where we're going, so I'm going to need to stuff your head in a bag. I try to fight him, but with my bound limbs, I couldn't do anything. He wraps his arms around my neck, forcing my head into the bag. He carries me from the office, but from there, I don't know where we're going. I start to cry, laying my head against Jared's shoulder as he carries me. I'm trapped. So that's Captive. And then there's thus far one book after it and a third one that's being worked on right now. And then we're not going to read from Tio. This next one is The Unknown. It's the book that I was trying to get published with Dorrance before my father found out something not very nice about them. Hello? Is the mic not working again? Crap. Hope I didn't just do all that reading for nothing. Okay. Mic still works, it's just not moving. Now I see why. Okay, so this one's from The Unknown. It's the prequel to my Attempt 1 series, which is the series I first started writing when I originally wanted to become an author. So this is The Unknown. Again, a bit of violence, so children, if you decide to sit through that, this one's probably going to be a bit better than Captive, to be honest. Because Captive I wrote a bit more recently than this one. But still, death. So, shoo. Save yourselves. So this is, once again, the prologue, because this is probably the most innocent thing in the entire book, which is concerning. Moving on. This is a prologue of The Unknown. Again, this one's in point of view. So this one is in the killer's point of view, but we never see him again. So Tyler. The lights of the house along the street slowly turn off one by one. The only house that remains is a large, white, one-story suburban house standing 4 houses in from the corner. The Harving household, where Anne and Pete Harving live with their 2 young daughters. Anne Harving, 33, Pete Harving, 34. The last 2 people on my hit list. I kill them and I can finally retire from this career forever. I could finally return home to my wife and son. Tyler, Adam, Franklin, I scold myself for seeing them as nothing but animals. These people are parents, children, siblings, friends. I return my attention to my target house. The lights inside slowly turn off as they turn in for the night. Pull up to the house, parking across the street. Pull out a little notebook from the center console, flipping it open to the marked page. I begin skimming my sloppy handwriting, giving up on that very quickly. Pull out the floor plans for the house. I lay the plans out against the steering wheel, and I enter the house through the front door, then go forward 3 strides and take a left. 1 more stride, then take a right. The master bedroom should be at the end of the hall. I throw the floor plans onto the seat beside me before opening the glove compartment. I pull out the leather pouch, shake out a ski mask, gloves, suppressor, and pistol. I pull the gloves on, then secure the suppressor onto the pistol. Being paranoid, I wipe the prints off. I wipe the prints off. That should say off, not of. Off. I wipe the gun of. No, that was right. I can't read my writing apparently. a print for the 5th time today before staring it in my left jacket pocket. I look back towards the house as one of the lights turn back on. Please go back to sleep, I plead silently. Can't do this if one of you are up. I take a look in the rearview mirror and pull on the ski mask, adjusting it slightly. Climb out of the car, leaving the door ajar as the lights turn off. Cross the street, trying to make it seem as casual as possible. That was a bit strange with the mask. I pause to double check the address before going to the door. 6392 East Adventure Road, the Harvings residence. The Harvings have 2 daughters aged 10 and 6. I'll be killing their parents tonight, and I have to not care about it. I look down at the doorknob, electric lock. Dang it. I prepared for a key lock. I flip through the book, looking for a code or a clue. It has electric lock, 4-digit code unknown, try window. That doesn't help. Cross over to the window next to the door. It doesn't have a screen, so there's some hope. Place my fingers firmly on the glass and push to the right. It moves slightly, enough for me to slip my fingers into the small crack. These people are practically begging to get robbed. I sigh, I'm sick. Slip my fingers in the crack and pull the window open the rest of the way. Having to escape through a window is going to make it a bit harder to get out. There's a heavy thud deep inside the house. I freeze. My blood runs cold. I listen carefully, not moving a muscle or breathing. It's your turn, Anne, a male voice says, presumably Pete. It was my turn last night, Anne argues. Kate will get it. Go back to sleep. The daughter's name is Kate. Great. One thing to remember for the rest of my life. I stay where I am for a couple more minutes before climbing in the window and making my way through the house. Having memorized the floor plan way before coming, it was easy to get through the house in the dark. It still doesn't sit right, though. I'm going to kill these people tonight just so the people who hire me won't kill my family. Oh, Mary is going to kill me once she finds out I've been killing for money again. I freeze mid-step when I hear a baby crying near me. I must have the wrong house. The Harvings have 2 kids, a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. Why would I hear a baby cry? I shake out of my thoughts. I'm imagining things. I make the final turn and open the door to the master bedroom. Stepping in, one of the adults is sitting up, staring right at me. I pull the gun out of my pocket and cock it. I'm sorry, I mumble, pulling the trigger. The bullet pierces their chest, a soft gasp emitting from their mouth. Anne, Pete asks. Pete, and gasp, limply raising her hand towards me. Pete sits up. Anne, baby, what's wrong? He follows her hand and sees me. His wife falls back off the bed, hitting her head on the nightstand. I realize I have very little time now. Pete's climbing out of bed. Cock the gun again, aiming at Pete's head again. I close my eyes and pull the trigger. I hear his body thud, a final grunt escaping his throat. Mama, Dada, a small voice asks from behind me. I turn around slowly. A little girl stands there, the 10-year-old. Shit. I raise the gun, aiming at her leg. I cock the gun hesitantly and grasp the trigger with my finger. The little girl stares past me at her dead parents' bed. Her green eyes are glistening gently in the moonlight. Mom, Owen wants you, she calls desperately. Mommy, I can't listen to this any longer. I can't handle her crying for her dead mother. I pull the trigger, knocking her off her feet. She pulls herself up again and limps forward. I sigh, cocking the gun again, shooting her on the shoulder, sending her into the wall. She hits her head and goes limp. Hopefully she's dead, and I didn't leave a loose end. Not taking one more second, I bolt to the window I left open. I hear something strange. Then I see the lights approaching. I jump out the window and jog to the car, practically throw myself in and start the engine. I look back as I turn the corner. The police are pulling up to the house. I look away and continue driving. I pull into my own driveway a little over an hour later and shut off the engine. I pull off my mask and gloves and look at my hands. I have made so many children orphans. I throw the gloves and mask on the passenger seat before climbing out of the car and slamming the door shut. I'm safe. I go inside, locking the door again once I'm inside. It's around midnight and my son will be sleeping. I kick off my shoes and head upstairs. I open his door softly. He is in fact passed out, sprawled on his bed. I smile to myself. I go to my own room and pull off my shirt before pulling back the covers and laying next to my wife. We're safe. Guys, I'm concerned with myself. I never knew I wrote this kind of stuff. Now that I'm actually reading it out loud, it sounds a lot more violent than I remember. That's why I won't be reading the prologue of the next one, because that one is... If you guys buy the book, it explains itself. It's only been 25 minutes. I don't think I read that fast. Anyways, the next one is Attempt 1 at the Relocation Center. This is the first book. It has absolutely, there's practically no connection between the prequel and this first book, except for one character. Well, and then other characters, I guess. Because there's only one character from the prequel that ends up showing up in DRC, but that's at the very end of this book. So it's mainly in the later books where you sort of see it start connecting. Anyways, this is DRC. This is 7 years into the future from the prologue. So the prologue might help explain a few things, but I don't feel comfortable reading that on the channel for, reasons that can be explained if you read the prologue. Anyways, chapter 1 of Death Rehabilitation Center. Don't trust the name. 7 years into the future. I sleep. I hit the snooze and I realize that it's the warden trying to wake me up. I hop from the... Why does everything keep jumping? The pounding continues and I realize it's the warden trying to wake me up. You have 5 minutes, 577696YA. It's his ID number. Anyways, the warden shouts back. I scowl, always hating when the warden on duty knows our ID number. It makes me feel like an animal, an item that can be bought. The ID number itself is just a jumble of numbers and a couple letters at the end. I have YA because I'm a young adult. When I first got here, my number ended in a K for kid. After that, I got PT for preteen. Then, had I been here when I was a lot younger, it would be B for baby, then T for toddler. Though we don't have many of the younger ones around here. The number itself was attached to the front left pocket and back of the uniforms in a fluorescent color. And to make it even more warm and fuzzy, the uniforms themselves are orange jumpsuits. I'm sick, apparently. There's a reason why I wrote these types of stories, though. I'll explain it once I finish reading everything. I move to the wardrobe and grab out the white undershirt, pulling it on. I pull out the jumpsuit, running this rough fabric through my fingers before pulling it on and zipping it up most of the way. Before closing the wardrobe door, my eyes land on this white box that sits at the bottom of the compartment. The box held the suit I wore for my best friend's funeral. God, I miss Becky. The warmth of her glistening blue eyes, the soft silkiness of her long brown hair. I shake myself from the train of thought. Becky's gone. There's nothing anyone can do about it. I grab the comb. I'm seeing things now, guys. I grab the comb from the counter next to the wardrobe and run it hurriedly through my hair and dash through the door, falling in line just before the warning bell rings. There's a girl with long blonde hair in front of me. She's pulling her hair back. I recognize that hair anywhere, but I need confirmation. I look at her right wrist. On it's a silver bracelet with a gold heart. Weird combination. With B. Grant inscribed in it. I smile and tap the girl on the shoulder. Hey, Goose, I whisper. She slips the tie over her hair, holding it in place before looking over her shoulder. Hey, Zach, I'm sitting with you today. And don't call me Goose. It's not my name. Sorry, Lucy. Go sit with your other friends. It'll only be so long before you lose them for hanging out with me. Zachary Jonathan Harrison, would you stop it with that? I'm still your friend. Unlike literally everyone else in this place, I don't think you're responsible for my sister's death, she snaps quietly. I bite my lip. Lucy was the only one Pierce couldn't turn against me. Okay, gates of fellow coming up. See you in a few. Hi. I don't know why I write this stuff, guys. Oh my goodness. She nods and enters through the left side, and I go in through through the right. They vigorously pat me down and push me through the metal detector, which didn't beat. Good. Then they checked my outfit and hair and let me pass through to the other side. I spot Lucy on the opposite side of the room from me. She's standing against the wall, talking to Pierce. Yes. Innocent teenage girl writing murders. That's me, guys. I I honestly don't know why I write this stuff. And this is only chapter 1 of this book. 2 books from now, they are in a war. So I think I might need help. Anyways, um, she's standing against the wall talking to Pierce of all people. I ball my fist and stuff it in my pocket, making sure to bite my cheek as I walk over. Pierce Jackson Kennedy, the headmistress's nephew. She blames me. He blames not she. He blames me for killing Becky. He thinks he's all special, being immune to punishments. Ugh. Then there's his comb back blonde hair and silver eyes that makes me think I'm looking Satan in the eyes. What's even funnier, we're friends, or we used to be. I think the thing I love most about our relationship is the fact that I was with him when Becky died, and he still blames me. He ruined our friend group by making friends with everyone, turned them against me, and then shut me out of his life. And everyone listens to him because he's the prince. His aunt is the queen. Lucy spots me and dodges Pierce's hand to hold her against the wall, slipping under his arm. Pierce, I have to go. We'll finish this conversation later. But I didn't get my hug, Pierce whines. I'm eating with Zach today. I'll see you in class. As Lucy moves away from him, he snatches her arm. Why are you still hanging out with him? He's a nobody now. All your friends hate him. She pulls his arm out of... I should say her arm. She pulls her arm out of his grasp. I'm still hanging out with him because he's my brother. He used to be yours too, till you shut him out. He was with us when Becky died. It's not his fault. Pierce opens his mouth to say something, but stops as Lucy heads to me. She smiles, the same smile that Becky used to grace us with every day. Breakfast, she asks, hugging me tightly. What were you two talking about, I demand, returning her hug. Nothing important. He is just wondering where I was sitting. Let's go eat. I kiss Lucy's hair. I'm right behind you. Pierce and I lock eyes for a few dangerous seconds before I follow Lucy. I grab a tray and join the line, getting my usual burnt toast, spoiled milk, frozen butter, apple slices, carrots, and water. Lucy, like everyone else, gets pancakes, syrup, fresh cheese, apple slices, carrots, and the choice between apple juice, milk, and water. And Lucy, being the kind of soul she is, shares her food with me whenever we sit together. We get out of line after entering our ID into the machine before turning and heading towards my usual table in the far corner of the room. As we reach one of the walkways in the middle of the room, I spot Pierce's group laughing and having a grand time, upset and probably more sleep-driven. About the fact that used to be us, I changed directions, making a beeline for the table. Zach, come on, let's just go to your table. We can just leave them alone, Lucy pleads. I ignore her as I approach the table. I set my tray down at the empty spot at the table, sitting in the chair. Pierce and his gang glare at me. The gang's eyes eventually drift over to Pierce to see what he's going to do. Pierce holds eye contact with me for a few seconds longer, then hops from the table and moves to me, pulling me from my seat. Harrison, you seem to be lost. Your table is on the opposite side of the room. Well, I assume you know that from the grin on your disgusting face, so riddle me this. What the hell are you doing over here, you murderer? Pierce demands, gripping my collar, bringing me to my chest. These children are 16! Wow. Yeah, I need help. I ignore him and force a yawn. He had taught me the trick. Why not use it against him now? Pierce chuckles softly, only loud enough for me to hear, before driving his fist into my stomach. I exhale sharply as he knocks the wind out of me. Don't you know how to bow to your superiors, Harrison? I could have you... I wrote that part when I was 12! What the... I'm not reading... Yes, we are, apparently. I wrote that when I was 12. What the frick is wrong with me? I'm not reading that. He releases me, finally letting me fall to the floor to try to catch my breath. Places his foot in the small of my back, keeping me on the floor. Well, I'm sorry that I don't think of a toddler as my superior, I spat, the mischievous grin playing on my lips. What the hell did you say? He shouts, flipping me over and straddling me, lifting his fist above his head threateningly. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were deaf too. Oh my, no, I'm not reading that part. If you knew anything, Harrison, you'd know not to make fun of someone who is an active threat to you. Zach, Pierce, stop it. What would Becky say? Lucy intercedes. My father said I wasn't allowed to write a murder mystery, so I wrote this instead. That's the entire story behind the violence. But my grandparents read it and said it was good and that I didn't need mental help, so that's something, I guess. Lucy intercedes, throwing both of us off our focus. Sorry, lesson learned, I'll leave, but I sort of can't do that when you're on top of me. I give in, admitting defeat for now. He moves off me and moves over to Lucy, leaning in close to her, whispering something in her ear. Yeah. She smiles softly, and Pierce returns to his seat. I pull myself up and grab my tray. Thanks for the fun, I say sarcastically, before turning away. Lucy and I walk to our table and sit down. We sit in silence and push our feet around our plates. Zach, be honest, please. What was that all about? Lucy asked sheepishly. That was me trying to see how easy it would be to become his friend again, since we used to be friends before Becky died. But since he's a prince in this prison, we're rotting away, and he escapes all sorts of punishments, and in turn, we all get punished while he kicks back and relaxes with his aunt. Lucy, face it, we live in a prison, just like Becky used to say, I explained. Hold on, let me see if this part's appropriate. Okay, most of it is. Is that what you think about the place providing you food, water, shelter, clothing, and an education? If so, we can easily arrange something to have you move into a less appeasing place, like perhaps one of the closets. We have plenty of those here. You can be a janitor. They don't get paid or fed, and since we provide the clothing too, you'll have to do it without that. And so you'll be a new janitor cleaning the orphanage with nothing but your toothbrush. You aren't fed, and you'll sleep in a closet and be dumb as a nail. How does that sound, Mr. Harrison? An all too familiar voice says behind me. My blood runs cold as she speaks. Her voice was so familiar from all the lectures I got from over the last 2 years. Over the 2 years, Pierce and I were friends. Jeez, I don't know my own story that well. It scares me. We would sneak into the girls' room in the middle of the night and take them to the garden to watch the stars. We were a family. The old dame got so used to me showing up in her office, she had a special spot reserved for me for some time. Well, until Pierce and I drifted apart, and the only stupid thing I would do is fall asleep in class. I'm sorry, ma'am. Pierce has me pulling my hair out. I apologized quickly. Well, I'm sorry about that, Miss Graham. How are you holding up? I don't have storylines. I think that's my problem. I don't like plotting things, so I write multiple drafts of it, and then I pick out my favorite parts. I think I need help. Miss Grant, how are you holding up? I understand it's your sister's birthday today. Midnight says solemnly. I'm doing as well as I can, ma'am, Lacey says, tears forming in her eyes. If you need someone to talk to you today, just come down to my office. And go ahead and skip school, too. I'll have the cooks deliver some food to your room. Thank you. Lucy, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. Could you forgive me, I ask, immediately becoming tearful. Mr. Harrison, why don't you go to class? You'll end up sitting in my office either way. Midnight spats. I stand up, grab my tray, then drop it back down and move around to hug Lucy. Lucy, please forgive me about Pierce. If I had remembered, I wouldn't have gone over to him. I whisper. Thanks, Lucy whispers back. I hold her for a second longer before grabbing my tray and heading towards the trash. I dump the meal in the trash and place the tray on top when a heavy hand drops on my shoulder. I'm about to shrug the hand off and tell them to back off when I'm spun around forcefully by the hand, making me come face to face with Pierce again. You left Lucy crying. Why? He demands, placing his other hand on my shoulder, concern in his eyes. It's Becky's birthday, mumble, shrugging his hands off. Shit. Tears rushes out ahead of me. I sigh before following him into the classroom stairways, where I go up the stairs to the third floor. At the landing, there are two doors. One leads to the classrooms, the other to freedom. The one leading to freedom is the only way in and out of this place. And when I say out, I mean you have to be seriously injured or 18. That's the way Becky went out on. That's the way Becky went on her way to the hospital, where she eventually died. I go through the first door and enter the first door on my left, moving through to my desk and pulling out my books and pencils. Now I have time to think. So I think about everything. Hold on. Okay, for the most part, this is appropriate. I have so many questions about my life. No one will tell me how Becky died. If they would have just allowed me to go to the hospital with her, I would know. She was exploded. If they would have just allowed me to go to the hospital with her, I would know. I could have saved her. How she died is one of the mysteries of my life. How did she die? Why did my parents unalive themselves? Do I have any living relatives? If so, why didn't they take me in? Is this even a legal orphanage? If so, why would America allow this kind of torture? Will I ever make more friends? Why does everyone look at me like I murdered someone? Why does everyone hate me? Plus countless other mysteries. All these questions have come to mind over the last 7 years of my life. It's sad, really. A poor 16-year-old stuck in a hellhole because his parents unalived themselves. And that is what I like to call death rehabilitations. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's not read from the organization because that's just a bunch of stuff getting given away. And finally, the last. Yeah, I went through a lot of crap when I was younger. And I was also obsessed with crime. Like, before I wrote this, I probably watched Monk 7 times. It's now 14. Besides the point. I am a concerning child who was obsessed with death, and I would read books my parents read when I was 10. So that's somewhat their fault. This next excerpt isn't much better. This is from my serial killer book. That explains it all right there. Chapter 1, yet another changing point of views book. This is the only one in this serial killer series where it changes point of view that I've decided thus far. Changing point of views is hard. This is in the victim's point of view, or the alleged victim's point of view. Try not to give anything away now. I lean over the handcrafted oak desk, scribbling down another description. Adam has me writing down everything that I can remember of people who came to the house yesterday. I was at the office yesterday, so I only remember. That's not that much of a spoiler. I don't think. I haven't read this one in ages either. Anyways, so I only remember who came by the house in the morning. I hadn't been allowed to leave my room all day. All of his FBI buddies have been patrolling the house inside and out. There's even an agent right outside my door. There's a soft knock at my door, and I look up. I frown slightly, not wanting to deal with anyone right now. I look at my window. It's dark. I check the clock. That's not right for the storyline. Coming up with a new time now. We'll go with 11:35. Yep, it's 11:35 p.m. Who is it? I asked, returning to the task at hand. It's Agent Lincoln. I'm here to bring you dinner. A masculine voice replies from the door. Oh my goodness, this is what I get for reading adult books. What the frick is this description? Come in. The door creaks open and I look up at the agent. Deciding whether or not I have enough courage to read this description. Oh my god. I need to call my aunt and ask her for that preacher to send me some holy water. I'm sure it's fine. I wrote this with him. Okay. It's just that line right there from the looks of it. Let's just say he's stupid strong, and we'll go with that. He's wearing a white shirt and in a navy blue jacket. His ashy hair shows his stress, and he's constantly running his hands through it. Cock my head at him. He's definitely here for something other than dinner. You don't have dinner, I say simply, returning my attention to the paper. Your brother is right, he replies. About what? You're stubborn. if you aren't bringing my dinner, why are you here? Smart, stubborn, straightforward, neat. You're avoiding my questions. Where's Adam? The agent runs his hands through his hair and looks back at the door. Agent Mitchell had to go down to the office to get some paperwork. I straighten and cross my arms. He shifts uncomfortable. There's food downstairs. I'll be right outside. He turns to leave. Do you even know my name? I ask, relaxing into my chair. He pauses, looking over his shoulder. Alexa, right? Close. What's your name again? Careful, agent. She's a slippery one. A familiar voice warns from the doorway. Hardy har har. Where have you been? Do you have food? I've been out, and I have food for me, unless you finish your homework. That's not fair, Adam. It's plenty fair. Did you finish? Mostly. I was about to start sketching. Leave that for the people down at the office. Give me food. I've been held hostage in my house for hours and with inadequate room service. My brother comes into the room sitting on my desk. I got you a cracker. Not funny. I got you some soup, okay? I see you've met Agent Lincoln. Yeah, why is he still here? Of course he didn't tell you. He's your new bodyguard. What? I don't need a bodyguard. I'm fine. Oh, right, this part. Adam crosses his arm and quirks an eyebrow before grabbing my hands. Is that why someone sent you a heart in a box, a human heart? I need help. I'll admit it now. I don't know, okay? Isn't that what you want to hear? I'm terrified right now, and there's someone stalking me. I just want my brother, not some random person I don't know. Well, get to know him. I need to head back to Virginia for a bit. We'll be looking into the package, but I need to be there to lead this year. Like in the last 3 months. I finished the very end of it 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Um, do we have to stay here then where he can find us? I'll see about transporting you to a safe house. Lincoln will be staying the night. Some of my buddies will patrol the grounds. Just stay safe, Bug, okay? I will. I will if you... I don't know how to read punctuation anymore, guys. I will if you will. Always. Please be on your best behavior for Lincoln. I just want to make sure you stay safe. I promise. Adam kisses my forehead and hugs me. I gotta go. I love you. I love you too. Ever since Mom and Dad died, Adam has prided himself on keeping me safe. We were 16 when they passed. He and his ex-girlfriend took me in. He's always been so protective of me, but he's always been supportive. He's also been supportive too. Blech. I miss him when he has to leave, but he always comes home to me. I'll let the two of you get to know each other. Bye, Bug. Bye, Adam. He smiles at me before placing the bag of food in front of me, clapping the agent on the shoulder and leaving. I turn away and start my sketches, turning to work through the pain of Adam leaving. I keep starting to read this in my head. The agent comes over and sits on the edge of my bed. Eat some food. It'll help, the agent suggests, grabbing my hand. Pull my hand out of his grasp. Just leave me alone, okay? Sorry, I can't do that. Then go wait somewhere else. Despite what Adam thinks, I don't need you here. You don't seem to understand. I can't leave you alone. Someone is trying to kill you. Your brother doesn't want anything to happen to you. Then he shouldn't have left me. And I think that's all the stories that I have on here. Let's see. The Unknown, Hunted, DRC, Love Note, Captive. Yep. That's all the stories I have thus far. I is concerned with myself. And then, of course, there's also 1312 about a possessed doll. That's fun. But I haven't finished that one yet. I wish I still had the doll. My parents thought it was actually possessed, so I had to get rid of it. But yay. I'm all done for now. I'm Yeah, if only you would come in on the more family-friendly ones, you probably wouldn't be so concerned right now. And yes, there are family-friendly ones. Um, so I honestly don't know what to do. Um, I honestly expected this to take a lot longer than 50 minutes. So I was like all prepared to be reading for another hour until I had to get ready for work. So now I'm Oh wow, yeah, Love Note, the very first story I read. That one's mostly innocent until I realized that my cousin wasn't actually checking in on what I was writing, so I made it a tiny bit more violent than it should have been. And then there's a story I wrote for my cousins who are 9. That one has to be family friendly, or my aunt would have killed me. Granted, it's still about death. And if I turn any of my movies into books, that would also work. Huh. Then there's also my play. I have a lot of stuff that could work as books, actually. Okay, now I don't know what to do. I'm honestly. I don't know what to do now. One more impromptu. Okay, so I'm gonna need some information. I need a character, I need a place, and I need blanking on what the last thing needs to be. Oh crap! I don't have my president still. And I need a purpose. I need a purpose. It's the most important one. Great. Now I'm in improv and drama again. Let's see. Okay. Frankie is refusing to go to bed. He wants a story. He likes dinosaurs. A big burly man with inhuman instinct. In kindergarten, he's looking for his lost friend. Oh my goodness. Okay. Why is this man in kindergarten? I guess that's for me to decide. So let's see. We're gonna give him a nice little tiny boy name. So it like we're gonna go with Tim. His name is Tim. Once upon I don't know why I started with once upon a time. Once there was a big man named Tim. He was really bad at school and he never made it past kindergarten. Mainly because his parents didn't want him to learn anything. Anyways, he's lived with his parents for the last 20 years of his life, and yet he's still in kindergarten. So, the story starts in it's a school that I don't entirely hate in my area. He goes to American Leadership Academy, yes, ALA, or as many people in my area call it, GALA. Anyways, he goes to ALA, and it was class pet day. And each of the students got to bring in one of their pets from home. And then from there, they would decide what they were, each student would vote and decide which pet was going to be the new class pet. So Tim, having loved his hamster for forever, wanted to give it to the school. The hamster has been dead for several years. Anyway, I had to add death, and I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, the teacher realized that the poor thing reeked. So when they all went out to recess, the teacher threw him, put the hamster in the shoebox, and threw him away. Um, when Tim came back in, he went over to check on his hamster. Let's call him, looking around my room for random names. Um, License. Yeah, I looked at my driver's license. That's right. Um, the hamster's name is, no, he wouldn't know that big of a word. His hamster's name is Hammy. Hammy the hamster. Tim realized that Hammy the hamster wasn't at his desk though. So he went up into the teacher and asked if she knew where his hamster was. She shook her head no and said that her his parents must have come and picked up the hamster while he was at recess. And and so Tim, being an upset little grown man, ran out of the classroom and sprinted right through the front doors, and for whatever reason, security didn't try to stop him. So his house wasn't that far from the school, so he ran home and he desperately searched his house and interrogated his parents as to where his poor little hamster was. They didn't know either, and they figured this was the best time to tell poor Tim that his hamster was dead. So they're all like, Tim, it's time to sit down. We need to talk to you. Tim, being a grown man who apparently still acts, we'll say he acts like a teenager, um, slams the door in their face and jumps out the window, goes back to the school, and searches the classroom. And he finds the shoebox with poor Hammy in it. So you know what? Let's not go with that because that'll be a storyline. He asked the teacher why his hamster was in the trash can, and the teacher says that he was taking a forever long nap to appease his poor kindergarten like mind still. And so the teacher called Tim's parents and asked him to come down to the school after school so they could all three talk with the 20-year-old man that sat in front of them. And when his parents came and they were all alone in the classroom, the teacher straight out stared at the parents and said, Tim, I hate to tell you, but your parents have been lying to you about your dead hamster. Tim, his poor kindergarten-like mind, and the 20-year-old man looked up at his parents, tears flowing from his eyes now, and said, Mama, Papa, is this true? The end. I don't know what that was. Yeah, that was. I don't know what to say. There's that weird impromptu story. My shoulders. Um, anything else? That was secret ending you'd be never. I was originally gonna say that, but that's not exactly. I didn't really want to. I like teachers for the most part, and so I didn't want to have a character beat the crap out of a teacher, even if he is fake. I'm gonna pull it back. It's trying to kill me still. Any other weird impromptu settings? Guess he was hurting, but I'm not a huge fan on beating up teachers. Hello, Stephanie. Do you have a prompt you would like me to turn into a short story? You're lucky you missed that last. Okay, I'm not sure who's. um. Okay. Okay. Bob, I guess you need to pull out another prompt for me, or I'm gonna have to start looking around my room for random objects. And Zoe's not here, so I can't make her tell me one. Room. Yes, please. And my hand's destroyed again. Guess I could. Yeah, there's a story of hope. Let's go with the story of hope. Funny. I have violent stories. Does that work? Not entirely violent. There's just some questionable scenes. Okay. So the story of hope, it's one of the first stories I actually ever wrote. I just never ended up finishing it. But in my mind, I didn't know that my mom's biological parents were still alive. So I had made them dead in this story because this story was supposed to be about her and my grandparents adopting her. And of course, me being me, I had to add in kidnapping and torture. Anyways, the story of Hope. Hope is a pink fan in an accountant's white office. It wants to become a donkey. That's so random. Yeah, let's go with that one instead because I can't remember Hope off the top of my head. A pink fan, like an actual fan, like fan, that thing up there. Okay, well now I don't know what to. Okay. Trying to figure out how to start this. The poor pink fan of Amy Accounting's office was feeling a bit lonely because he was the only one of color in the entire room. Everything was white. Everywhere you looked, it was a giant white cube. So Pinky, we're going to call him Pinky. Pinky wanted to be different, even more so, because he didn't like being a pink fan. So he went up to the wise old computer of the 90s, I guess, and and asked it how it could be different, even more so. The computer just stared down at him, very confused. You're a fan. How are you talking to me? We're in Toy Story now, okay? But we're office supplies, okay? Is how Pinky replied. Pinky stared expectantly at the computer for an answer. When the computer gave just an answer, Pinky decided to try disobeying the laws of the objects becoming real. And decided to ask Amy how to become a donkey. After a while of thinking, Pinky decided he wanted to become a donkey. Which makes sense because most words. I'm not going to finish that thought, actually. Anyways, Pinky asks Amy how he could become a donkey. Amy, her first reaction, of course, like, a freaking object is talking to me. She goes up and like grabs her stapler and like slaps it across the face. Slaps poor Pinky across the face. I'm concerned with myself. And Pinky, first of all, falls off the desk because, you know, he was just slapped across the face with the stapler. Yep, there's the violence. Amy starts freaking out like she just broke her favorite pink fan. So she quickly picks it up, thinking that she was just hearing things. And Pinky speaks again. How do I become a donkey, miss? Amy, realizing that she's probably just imagining all of this, just tries thinking really hard with her mind. You're gonna be a donkey. You're gonna be a donkey. She opens her eyes. Still a fan. And the fan continues talking to her like, what are you doing? Are you freaking crazy? I asked you a question. And so she starts freaking out. Like, okay, I'm not imagining this. Why do you want to be a donkey? Pink fan. Call me Pinky. I don't like being the only pink thing in here. So either you could turn me into a donkey or get some color in here, you freaking weirdo. She decides that she would just. She was weird. She didn't like talking to objects. So instead of trying to appease poor Pinky, she goes over to the outlet and pulls his plug. And now it's only a white office. There's no more pink anymore. The end. Back to the house. Besides, it needs to be some death. Hey, it's not an EGB classic, but there's not death. And then I'm not used to using objects. I was. Yes, Pinky had to die. Pinky was a bit too psycho for the rest of the office supplies. And Amy. That was the story of Pinky? I don't know. I don't know what else to say now. Let's see. Look around my room. Oh, we have Scary Jerry. I totally forgot about him. How about a dragon story, guys? Okay, we have the dragon. Now we need island. Dragon island. Bow. Dragon island bow. Scary Jerry, what do I do? Okay, Dragon Island bow. I don't know what else to do. I'm losing my mind. Can't think straight. Prince Punk. No. Well, let's make this a different kind of dragon story here. Panic section of the state. Let's see. Instead of a prince being the hero, we're gonna go with a princess. I haven't seen any of those stories lately. So let's see. We have a Scary Jerry. For reference, this is Scary Jerry. My friend drew him for me. He is a dragon that can control my friend, supposedly. We have Princess Punch from the Sour Punch Straws. We have Island from the island painting Zoe wanted me to attempt. And then we have my fake bow and arrow back there. Okay, so let's see. We have Princess Punch on an island with Scary Jerry, and her weapon is a bow. Okay. I have no idea what to do with that. Princess Punch, Scary Jerry, Island, bow. Damn, writer's block. And we have Scary Jerry's servant, Kit Kat. Me with all this food on my bed. Okay, so we have Kit Kat, Scary Jerry. Those are the antagonists. Ooh. Yeah, sure. I totally have sponsors. I totally talk to people. I'm talking to computer screen right now. This is the most social interaction I've had. Yeah, we'll go with that. Besides kids, I don't really talk to other people. I just really like, I have a candy stash. Right now, it only consists of Kit Kats and Sour Punch straws. But I have a candy collection. Now I need to find a new place to hide it. Let's see. All right, so maybe Scary Jerry won't be the antagonist in this one. All right, I think I'm ready. Once on the island of looking for names. Sockentire? I don't know. Once on the island of Sockentire, Scary Jerry and his right-hand man, Kit Kat, lived peacefully until Princess Punch arrived with her handy bow on the island, because before she becomes queen, she needs to kill a dragon. Scary Jerry is the last of his kind, sadly. Scary Jerry heard from his Kit Kat, that that a princess had arrived on the island, and he knew what was coming because her mother had come before her, and before that, her mother's mother, and before that, her mother's mother, and until he was the only one left. Princess Punch worked her way through the treacherous island. And her mother. Yeah, that's right. Princess Punch worked her way through the. Is that thunder? It's not supposed to rain yet. Worked her way through the viney woods using the arrows for her bow to cut the vine so she could make her way through to the Dragon's Peak, where Scary Jerry and Kit Kat lay. Once she arrived, she drew her. I don't know the fancy term for bow and arrow. My bow and arrow was fake. Spent $5 on it. She loaded her bow. She drew her bow. I don't know. She aimed her arrow at the dragon and pew-pewed him with the arrow. Scary Jerry, having been the strongest of the dragons, easily deflected the arrows, and poor Kit Kat ran away terrified because he doesn't do well with danger. So there they were on a cliff 100, let's go with 100 miles above the, I don't think that's realistic actually, is it? I don't know this stuff. This is why I write basement. This is why they all live in bunkers, or in hell. There they were on a 100-mile cliff face. Princess Punch shooting arrows at poor Scary Jerry. Well, Scary Jerry deflected, but he was pierced. And his wing was pierced, and he wasn't able to fly above her anymore. So in one final attempt to defeat her before he passed, don't worry, he swiped at her, and she nearly fell off the cliff face. But Scary Jerry, being the nice dragon he was, he helped her back up onto the cliff, where Kit Kat the cat attacked the evil princess, and sent them both going over the edge. Scary Jerry tried his best to catch his poor cat. Kit Kat did not survive, but neither did the princess. That's the important part. Scary Jerry roared and swore that once his wing was healed, he would avenge his poor cat's death. He would attack the kingdom, and everybody will die. The end. Man, I really don't like cats. My dad will be happy about this, though. Scary Jerry is safe. He's gonna wreak havoc. No, don't worry. Scary Jerry survived. Let's fast forward to when his wings healed really quick. He attacks the kingdom. Everyone's dead, and he now rules over 2 lands as the sole dragon of the world. The end. See, there could be a happy. And then he got all the cats that he ever wanted. So he was happy again. But nobody could replace Kit Kat. Yes. My friend was actually going to run for president when she decided that she decided she was going to run for president, and then use Scary Jerry as her logo. Problem is, she doesn't know crap, so I was gonna have to teach her everything. I'm glad she decided not to go with president anymore, because that's a lot of crap I need to teach her, and she also is a horrible salesperson. So am I. So that's probably the only reason why we're friends. Do I work tomorrow? Forgetting when I work. That's not good. Crap. It was Brittany who texted me. Okay, yeah. I do work tomorrow. Oh. Well, she actually needs to text me to confirm. Anyways, so yep, there's that. Yeah, she's pretty connected with her family. I mean, she lives with her mom and sister. Her sister goes to college in a week and a half. So I'll just be her and her mom at the house. They get along well enough. And I get along with my family by not killing them. So it works. It's a win-win. Dishwasher. Anywho, I now don't know what to do again. So I'm running out of storylines in my head. It's weird because I shouldn't have storylines in my head. Well, I recently found out that I have an entire biological family that amounts up to the point where I have 11 new cousins. And then, let's see, Aunt Chelsea and her husband. And crap. Aunt Julie and her husband. Aunt Michelle and her husband. Uncle Nick. Not Uncle Wyatt. We have Wyatt. Aunt Ellie, her husband. I think that's everyone. I also have 2 new aunts and uncles. Oh, you can. I have 35 cousins now. I can't even keep track of my own family. My immediate family. Like literally, I called Zeke. He's the older brother. Not my older brother, but you know, he's the older of my 2 brothers. I called him Ike. He acts nothing like Ike. Zeke doesn't play with Barbies like Ike does. I'm losing my mind. Too many people to keep track of. Plus, there's all the birthdays I have to remember. Ah, yes, Ike. Full name Isaac. His nickname is after the 34th president of the United States of America. At least that's what my parents told us. And then there's Zeke or Ezekiel. Zoe's my assistant. That's the only reason why I remember her name. Then there's Lucy. She's my favorite. And then, I actually remembered all of them. Zeke, Zoe, Lucy, Ike, Quincy. And then let's see, cousins. Jacob, Samantha, Hannah, Nathan, Grace, Jasmine. Did I already say Nathan? Jacob, Samantha, Hannah, Nathan, Grace, Jasmine, Sydney, Silas, Cameron. Do I have more? Oh, right. Gabe, Rocco, Sprinky, Hope. That's 13 cousins from my mom's adoptive side. Then there's Carter, Gabby, Gwen, Mason. I lived with most of them for a long time. Like my mom's adoptive side, I know most of. They're the ones that I grew up with. And then dad's side, let's see. Caden, Clara, Keegan, Chloe, Caleb, Maddie, Kendi. And then Finn. I only have 8 on that side. Jeez. It's just remembering my aunts and uncles and then trying to remember how many kids I have. Not I have, they have. I don't have kids. Yeah. 8 on my dad's side, 13 on my mom's adoptive side, and 11 on my mom's biological side. Michelle has 3, Gabby, Charlie, Remy. Finally remember the little girl's name. Then Aunt Julie has 2, Carter and Mason. It's someone else. And then Aunt Chelsea has 2 kids, Gwen, Mason. Uncle Nick has 3 daughters, Amory, Addison, and Olivia. So Aunt Chelsea, Aunt Michelle, Aunt Julie, Uncle Nick. I don't think Aunt Allie has any kids. Quandavius? Then Wyatt shouldn't have any kids. He's barely 18. He better not have any kids or I'm going to have to kill him. And then Aunt Allie doesn't have any kids. Yes. I only have 10. I don't know how to do math, so I force myself not to know how to do math, though. My back. Freaking hate it. Can anyone do spine transplants yet? I need one. It's a crazy name, though. Wanda Villas. Oh, yeah, I have juvenile idiopathic scoliosis. I carried a 20-pound backpack for 12 years. Not to brag. I'm not cool, though. My doctor said that I should try to get the school district to pay for my medical care if I do end up needing it, but like you can tell with my shoulders, like this side of my backpack was always heavier, so it would pull down, and when its tension's released, it's. I thought I was fixing it by holding. But now apparently everything's messed up. We got an X-ray, and apparently my L4 and L5 are fused together, which can cause problems in the future. So if I can't feel my feet, I will literally jab my foot with like my keys or something to see if I can still feel my feet, because my nerve endings might not go through the tunnels of the L4 and L5 correctly because they're fused. And if they don't do that, then the nerves can be damaged, and I might lose feeling in my feet permanently. Unless I want to do surgery, which I can't do that because of that dumb competition with Zeke. Anyways, I'm going to win. Oh, Zeke. Zeke's been ditching school. It's only the 3rd day. I think that's Zeke. There's Ike. But yeah, I'm going to win this competition with Zeke, and I will because he's taking basketball this year, which means he's, without a doubt, going to get injured and needs to go to the hospital, which means I'm going to win, and life will be awesome because I can hold it over him forever. I don't even know where we started this competition. Whoa. Not a smart place to go, mind. Now Ike is yelling at Zeke about Barbies. Check what out. I'm like blanking what's happening right now. Surprised neither of them have come in my room, actually. Gotta be some record for them. Zeke always has a thing of coming into my room whenever I'm doing a live or not a live, but my old Zoom meetings. Used to love coming in those. Until, of course, the club kicked me out. Just forgot about me, and so I wasn't included in the meetings anymore. That a full thought. Okay, according to this, has been added. I don't know what to do with it now. I don't see anything. It just says Pog. Is that supposed to be the magical thing? Because yeah, no, I only see Pog. It's strangely quiet out there. Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure how to restart my browser because I'm not really that good with technology. Barely just figured out how to work this computer. And I'm still finding new things. I really don't know how to work this. All right. Yeah, still not. I have no idea how to get to extension settings either. So man, I really suck at this technology stuff sometimes. All right, it's been popped out. Yeah, it's popped out now. Yep, still words. Still text. Ow. Text. Trying to kill me. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what to do now, so I don't know what to do anymore. And I'm not doing push-ups. I can't even do one. Also, I think Zeke's sick, and that's why he's been ditching. I did that backwards. I think Zeke's been sick, and that's why he's been ditching. I can't do any exercise now that I think about it. I'm too weak. I could paint. I have my paint thing over there. Oh, he's not in school. He overslept this morning while I was trying to sleep. I heard my mother burst into his room and like, Zeke, why aren't you at school? I just got a call from the school. And yet he's the one that's been like freaking whining because he's not back in school. Weirdo. Don't start school until August 8th. But yeah, my mom doesn't usually pull us out of school unless we A, oversleep, and then she's just too lazy to take us in, or B, or throwing up. Like we have to throw up right before we leave to school to be allowed to stay home from school with my mother. Which is why I make the smart move of being online schooling. Which is also not really smart because last time I was sick, I couldn't like stay awake, and my mom got mad at me for not doing my schoolwork. Doesn't have a fever. He's not coughing. He's not sneezing. All he's doing is being bad word I can't say. Oh, but I can't sign. He's just in official teenager mode. It's not fun for everyone else. And like he expects me to come home from work and continue work. And this is why you shouldn't be babysitting. Yeah, no, my mom doesn't think that. She thinks that he's just trying to ditch school now that he doesn't have someone to go to school with since Hannah doesn't live here anymore. But he can make friends. He has friends at school. Asher, Colin Thomas, and Shane Pram. Other friends that I don't know. This is why my siblings suck, because then they get to see them while this. Yes, a whopping 2 names. Those are the only 2 friends I'm allowed to know. I only know Asher because he's my ex's little brother. Yeah. And technically we're friends with their family, so I need to fix my music box. And yes, the best $3 I've ever spent. I still have 30 feet of it. I wanted to put it on my door, but Mom said no. My main door, I mean. That's my closet door. So instead, I just decided to paint my door without their permission. Hey, the state my closet is in right now, it's a crime scene. Besides, I used to have a dead body in here. Not real, of course, but Mom wouldn't allow me to bring the real one in here. I had the entire... I took forensics, and so we had to set up a crime scene somewhere, and my mom said that I couldn't do it downstairs, so I set it up in my room. So I had a dead body in my room. I had Zoe lay on the floor, and I chased her with tape. I had a dead body in my room. She made a horrible Dr. Fisher. Dr. Fisher. We never got to figure out how he was killed. I had so many theories, and they, like, when the class ended, they didn't tell us who killed him. Just that one of the suspects' houses was blown up. And that both suspects were missing. I had so many good theories, too. Oh, well. As far as we know, he just killed himself now. That was a weird case. And I still want to solve it again. Mother won't let me. Mainly because Mother won't let me buy unsolved case files. Because last time she got me one, I solved it in an hour. He's Jeff Epstein. Hey, this is what I get for living under a rock. How do I know about this guy? Oh, he's a sex offender, not a murderer. Let's see. Yeah. That's how the crime scene originally looked. Upon entering, victim was right-handed. Gun was in his right hand. There was who's left-handed. He had the gun in his left hand. Entry and exit wounds matched up with him shooting himself. But then there's the entire thing of that his prints weren't on the gun, and there were no prints on the gun, and there were drugs on the table, and he doesn't do drugs. So, main suspect is his girlfriend, as well as a former patient of his who sued him for malpractice and lost. I love forensics. Yes, girlfriend Lucy something. A mixture of highly intoxicating drugs were spilled on the table. My theory, for when it was only the girlfriend as a suspect, was that her boyfriend came in, saw her doing drugs. He's a doctor. He gets mad at her. And so she later comes in to apologize and then computes him and then leaves the scene. Before making it. See, this is why I need an actual body. I can't actually. You need an actual live crime scene. Could have missed so much. Can't access this crime scene photos because they're my school account. Good thing I'm not actually going into forensics. Dead bodies make me throw up. Okay, that's a lie. I can eat dinner while watching Bones. I miss Bones so much. Dead bodies were glorious. I didn't say that. Okay, I think I'm officially out of things to say. Because now I'm rambling to myself. You like watching bodies decompose too? Man. Nice to know that about everyone. I want to go to a body farm so bad, but Mom says no. It's not good for a girl my age to see that, apparently. Well, the closest one is in not Canada, Tennessee. So not really close to home. I would, but you need certain conditions for body farms. It's literally a place where you can go to study how bodies decompose. And therefore, there's certain conditions needed. So, like people, if at least according to Bones, most of the time when you donate your body to science, it either goes to a med school or it goes to a body farm for forensic scientists. So there's 50-50 chance you just end up out in the heat while your body slowly fills up with gas until you eventually explode from the stomach. Yes, it's my favorite something. Mom says it's not good to watch guts explode everywhere. Granted, what did she know? She started dating my dad when she was 14. I think she was 14. Questioning my parents' relationship now. I already found out that there wasn't planned. That wasn't a very nice thought. Anywho. I don't know what else to say. I wish Zoe was here so she could do her dumb required thing for you guys. But she's not. Yeah, no, I don't exactly do push-ups. I can rollerblade, that's the extent of my exercising. But I don't exactly feel like carrying around my computer. It's 90 degrees out. You gotta be kidding. Oh, that's actually pretty nice. Okay. I'm not allowed near bodies anymore. I'm only allowed near children. Granted, I don't know how I lift up the children. My back hurts so much. Stream. Yes, you can watch me fail one push-up. I'm debating it now, thanks a lot. Yeah, that's still just text. You're just saying pog. Failed push-up every day. Okay, let's try, I guess. Come on, little tray thing. Yeah. I'm sorry, laptop. I didn't mean to hurt you. Ow, my legs. How am I supposed to do a push-up with injured legs and back? Oh my goodness. Lock my door. Damn tripod out of the way. Oh, the tinfoil. Okay. Let's see. I don't understand do push-ups. I haven't done a push-up since I was in school. That was 3 years ago. No, 4 years ago. It was 4 years ago. Okay. You see, I don't even know the right form. Where? There. I did it. Ow. I'll just do Cobra instead. Ow. I'm just gonna wait. I'm dead. Oh my goodness gracious. That hurt. Miserably. Hands near your shoulders and keep your body aligned to your legs. Okay. Push up. Oh. Just gonna lie here for a bit. I'm not doing that again. I did it. You said one failed push-up. I did one failed push-up. Hey, you said one failed push-up. Crap. I broke a canvas. I'm not the one that works out in my family, so next time you can try to get Zoe to do a push-up. The only one in my family who doesn't like working out or running or anything. Let's see here. This one. Yeah, sure. I was in track for a month and I hated it. I only did it because my friend said that she had no other friends in there. She wanted someone to do it with, and then bada bing, bada boom, all of her friends were there. The friend who said that she was going to do it with me decided that she was too cool to hang out with me. Granted, I was in the middle of a war with another one of her friends, so that doesn't help. Damn, I didn't want to do that. So, yeah. Track sucks and is stupid, and I hate sports in general. Granted, I babysit. Well, I only did it because my friend said that she was going to be lonely. And I don't like working out. So, okay. Red John. That was I failed miserably. It's not Red John. Yeah, I don't speak Latin. I've watched enough crime shows where Latin is portrayed a lot, but I don't know it myself. I think that's Latin. But no, I haven't. Okay. I knew watching crime shows would help. At some point. Yeah, as you heard from my writing, I don't exactly have a healthy mind. Okay, I can do this. Hopefully. Yeah, no, the one person who said that they were going to help me work through it said that I was damaging him, and then said that he was using me for his own personal gain. So, yeah. That was a horrible Red John face. Yep, and then my ex recently asked me out again, and he said that he has too much going on in his life right now to actually, do anything. But well, that's the reason I broke up with him. Anywho. I have thus decided that I'm not going out ever again. You can only be fucked over so many times. Screw this, I'm done with that, John. I don't feel like I really need that much help. Not enough to actually put work towards it. Eh. The dude who I said was helping me, that's all I did. Just quote me scriptures every time I text him. So you're doing a lot better than him at this point. I have no idea what I'm doing. Honestly, just half that didn't even go on the canvas. And we got a handy dandy foil. All right. Let's see. So that's what the tinfoil looks like. I need the easel that I told my father I'd actually be using for what it's supposed to be used for. I have the canvas here. And boom. Of that thing. I don't know. Yes, I like to call it life. My theory behind that, though, is life is a total mess until the weird throwing around of the paint. And then once you look at it at a different angle, let's grab all the other ones. Life can be beautiful in all sorts of different ways. Sometimes you just need someone to show you how beautiful it is. All of those were literally just me throwing paint onto a canvas and putting tinfoil over it. Yeah, that's my theory behind it, at least. Life looks like shit for most of your life, and then at some point you realize that that's the beauty in all of it. Even if I can't entirely believe that for myself, I keep putting my finger in paint. And then with the excess, I use to make little bookmarks. I have to paint all over my hands. Anywho. And leaves your philosophy of the day, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't know. When I first created the channel, I was trying to, because like, even before I had any followers, I was calling people excellence because when I created the channel, I was trying to find something that sort of like, you're the EGB everyday excellence. They all start with E, so you're the EEEs. I don't know. That was the only thing I don't even know how I came up with the channel name itself. I don't even post every day. But yeah, I just wanted. I felt like if I acted like I would have a huge following base, I would get a huge following base. I'm trying to think about what it would be then. Ike, stop singing! He's really bad. I have no room to speak though. Nobody likes my singing. Or maybe it's just the music I'm singing. KGB. I'm not sure there's a lot of positive things that start with K. I'm painting the tarp on my floor. Oh well. Maybe I'm just weird, but I don't know what the thing with KGB would be. Keck. With the keck. Okay, now I have a new replacement for hell and heck. Ah. No, maybe I should have paid attention in class. It doesn't matter, I passed. Because I was online and I had Google. I mean, no, I wasn't. No, I did. Or maybe we just didn't learn about it. I don't think we learned about it. I used to call my cousin SS. And then I learned about. And then I read that they used SS as a bad term in a book that I read. And then she ended up being a bitch, so it didn't matter. Yeah. But her name is Samantha Self, so. And so, like, I used to call one of my friends Vivi because her name was Victoria, so I would just call her Vivi. So she used to call me EE. I have weird friends. Yay, made her John. Yeah, Red John. Red John, what happened to you? that up really quick. Well, yeah, that's the whole thing with red drawn. Hold on. Let me go find the painting. In one of my favorite crime shows, this was a serial killer's mark. He would leave it everywhere. He drew a smiley face in blood. Hey, Miss Red John. All right, I need to get ready for work and then drive the 30 minutes it takes to get out there. So that's all for today. Excellent. Remember, this week's quote of the week is live for today because tomorrow isn't promised for anyone. Yes, very nice person. If you guys think I should do another long, this is 2 hours. If you guys think I should do another long as live like this again, comment down below. Give this video a like. Trying to hit 50 subscribers by the channel's birthday, which is August 7th. So if you guys could go ahead and subscribe, even though I know nobody's going to get to this point in this video. Whoa. My nose decided it was going to try to drown me. Oh, ow. If you guys would like to request a painting of some sort, comment colors, and if you would like weird marble-ish weird design that I've started doing, or a drip painting, or an ombre, any of those I can do. Don't ask for anything because I can't do it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, you guys are beautiful, you guys are smart, and you guys are perfect just the way you are. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Now I have to go through the process of ending this. Bye, guys!